Hello everyone, this is Matias. Today I'll be talking about how to get a state of California job as an information technology associate or a specialist one. I'm just going to go through all the steps. I have quite a few things I'd like to discuss. So step one, interacting with the CalCareers website. This is where you'll be applying to jobs and everything. I'll just go over a quick background on me. I work at CCHCS, California Correctional Healthcare Services, as a information technology associate. I'm also an adjunct instructor at California Institute of Applied Technology. Got a number of certs. I'm about done, about a year out from finishing the Bachelor's of Science in IT from WGU. And I got I think 4 to 6 classes on the master's degree, the MSITM program as well. So we'll just dig right in. Main account, a lot of personal information, so I'm going to be taking it on in and out to show you. But the way I would search for a job is very simple. You would type in here, Information Technology Specialist 1. You would publish from new to old. I put 100 jobs, then you'd update the results. And I would just be looking at jobs that I think I'm good for, or have the skill set for, or even just a chance at. And I just start saving them. Just save as many as you can. Do a quick review. And I would just do a quick review to see if you have the skill set, maybe review the duty statement, which would have a good, clear description of what that job entails, schedule. See, this is 100% remote. This is actually something I would want to look at too if it's a full telework job. Some full telework jobs you may have to do a day in the office. Maybe it's once a month, twice a month, or it's actually a hybrid role, 2 to 3 times a week. And you'd want to just go through the duty statement and make sure you have a lot of the skills needed to obtain this position and be a good candidate for that role. And I'll just star them. So I'm going to go off screen. It's going to show too much personal info. So let me just pull it back up. Then it would be in your saved jobs here. And you'd have the job codes of jobs you're applying to. See if there's anything else I want to show you. Well, and if you have a search that you've created and you really like it, then you can hit save searches. And you can see I have a template already made. I'll just show it to you. And this is probably the more boring part of my video, just kind of showing you how I interact with it. I've probably applied over 200 or 300 jobs. I've had 10 or 15 different interviews, gotten one job out of it. But we have a lot to discuss to make sure that you get paid what you're supposed to and that you fill out your STD 678, your state application the right way. And just a lot of minor details that I learned after the fact that if I would have known them before, I probably would have had better luck getting paid appropriately and have probably done better in different interviews as well. I probably dropped the ball in a few of the teleworker interviews I did and all that. So yeah, I'm just here to prep you on how to move forward. Let me just go off screen real quick. All right, so when you're building out your CalCareers account, you only want to have one account. You don't want any more than that, or else you can get barred from getting jobs if you just feel like you didn't apply well enough and use another account to apply. Don't do stuff like that. If you drop the ball, you drop the ball. You move on to the next one. You go to CalCareer account, make sure all your information is accurate, address, phone number. If you have a work phone and don't have access to your personal phone during the day, I would put that number down as well because I've been called for interviews on my personal phone. I can't access my personal phone during work hours, so I get called on my work phone. Contact information, accurate, additional records. For most people, it doesn't mean anything unless you're a veteran or have other types of records that I'm not aware of because I don't use them. Uploaded documents. There's a certain number of documents you can upload, but I've uploaded everything that it allows. One, two, so 10 documents. That's all we can upload. The whole point of this is when you're applying to a state job, you just have like a quicker setting. Instead of digging through a file on your computer, you just directly click it and it'll upload it to that specific job, or yeah, the job you're applying to. Job application is the right word. You see, and then the STD 678. We'll get to that later. Let's get back to my notes. So this is what I was talking about. One thing we're gonna go over is the pay ranges. Let me just pull that hyperlink. And obviously the pay is pretty important, so I'm going to go over it. Because a lot of people that I know, and even myself, you don't really get paid what you're supposed to because you made a mistake on your STD 678. So very important that you fill this out correctly. I'm not going over technician because I've never met a technician, and this is a job that's not really posted that much. But this will be ITA, a position that most people can easily obtain if they have over 5 years experience. So range A, and you can read this for yourself. I'm going to put this in the video description, but I just want to go over it completely. When using education, meet the alternate range criteria. Education must include at least 15 semester units of information technology or closely related coursework. And it goes over the 5 domains. Alternate range is range A. Most people, if they don't fill out anything correctly and they just meet the minimum qualifications and happen to get hired, you're going to be put in range A. It is quite low. It's almost not livable in my opinion for IT. But this is just minimum qualifications. Those 15 semester units, maybe a couple years. Range B, most people will get this 30 semester degrees from an accredited. Like if you have some community college under your belt, you probably get range B. So range B person meets, and I'll show you the pay as well. Actually, let me do that. Actually, let me go off screen. I might need to go off screen to show you. No, I can do it from here. Just gonna pause the video really fast, and I'm back. Let's go to ITA. Just take off the filters. We're just gonna pull up any random job and go straight to the pay. Oh, this is actually pretty interesting. I should actually go over this. This is a different pay range, LMNO. It's a higher pay range than at the average job. This usually means that this job is a specialized position. So yeah, a lot of people may see this and not know what it is. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. They have very specific requirements or desirables. 60 plus college units, 1 year experience with iOS. That's actually pretty basic. I don't know. Usually for web development positions, coding positions, they'll be in the LMNO. And this is same for information technology associate or specialist 1. It'll be LMN, but the pay range is usually, I believe it's like $200 higher, $300 higher at the base and the top range for each letter range you get. So that's actually not common at all. We hardly see LMNO on there. Usually hard to fill positions may be that. So let's check this one. This one seems to be the correct one. All right, so this is the correct range. You preferably want to get in D range. The only way to get D is if you have 5 years of experience. That's equivalent to an information technology associate. Most people can't get D because they don't really write their resume on CalCareers correctly. Let's just say you have experience that exceeds ITA experience. If you don't write it down correctly, you're not going to get credit for it. If you have a bachelor's degree from accredited university, you get range C. So yeah, I'm a range C employee. Okay. Just to go over range D, this applies to person meeting minimum qualifications and completed 5 years of satisfactory additional experience performing duties equivalent or higher to than equivalent to or higher than an information technology associate. The majority of people applying will get range D. Typically, they're going to be hiring people with a lot of experience. So if someone that has 5 years and someone has just meets the range A minimum qualifications, they're probably going to pick someone with the higher level experience. And for specialists, same thing, 4 years of satisfactory additional experience performing duties equivalent or higher than an ITS 1. And then range A, I think it's just maybe 2 years or a bachelor's degree gets you into range A. Then range B, you get the minimum qualifications. Let's show it. No, it doesn't. Yeah, most people don't get range A unless they did something wrong on their STD 678. But most people get range B. We'll go over the pay for that. And the way the increases work in the state is every July you have a union increase that could be 3 to 4%. Then you have something called your MSA. So every year anniversary, you'll get it's usually 5% increase. So you're kind of guaranteed anywhere from 8 to 9% raises every year, which is not bad at all. Okay, specialists. And this video is just going to be long form. I'm just kind of digging it in front of you guys so you can see how I would go through something. And we're still at point number 1. We haven't gotten past that, or point number 2. And yeah, we're not going to find any LMN or LMN here. So only 3 ranges for ITS 1. It's going to be A, B, and C. We'll just pick a random one. And here's range A, B, and C. So if you have 4 years of experience, you will hit range C. Let's see what range C is. This is just to humor me. Okay. So range C hits you right at 91, and I'm going to be very honest with you. I think the majority of people can hit range C. Even range A is fine. That's about like 75, I believe, around there. But if you have 4 years of experience or more in IT, if you write out your 678 right, most people have it. You know, a lot of people are going to have sysadmin experience if you've been doing this for 4 years. Even if you're tier 2 at a help desk, you're probably doing the system admin role, that role already. So I'm kind of just done going over this. All right. Pay ranges, the importance of the STD 678. So let me pull up, I'm going to pull up a segment of mine. I can't show you all of it. There's way too much personal information on there. So I'm just going to show you what I can without going too in depth. Okay. So when you're filling out your STD 678, if you want to work for the state, you got to laser focus on it, and you have to be completely transparent and honest in your STD 678. So you want to put university, college, put everything you have, school, university, any little degree. Don't leave anything out. If it's on your resume, it doesn't matter towards your pay. It has to be on your state account, this STD 678. So let me go over to how you'd even make that. So let me just pull this out real quick. Okay. So on your state account, on the My Account in the upper, this corner up here, or middle, it's right here, application templates, STD 678, and you're going to make an application template. Let me just go off real quick. see mine. I create a template, create a new template for information technology roles only. So I've geared everything towards getting an ITS1 or ITA role. And you can see I've done the questions. If I go any lower, you'd see my driver's license info, so we'll leave that out. You just want to go through everything. Education, you go through it in all completeness. You want everything to be there, or else it won't be counted towards your pay. The resume is not used towards your pay. This is what's used. So this is what you're going to do. Sorry, my face is like down here, so I just put it up here so I can start the camera. The experience, let me just go off, make sure I'm not showing anything crazy. I'm actually going to show you my resume without any info, so you'll see all of it anyways. Yeah, and this is just a full picture. Current state employment, information history, no employment history, and just I went through all of it. I had a lot of IT jobs. Just see. And then you get the completed template. You can search for jobs and apply that template, but you got to fill it out in all completeness. There's actually one more thing I got to dive in for you. All right, so if you click on any of these jobs, I clicked on info gain. So I don't think I have too much, I don't have too much experience. I don't have anything telling on there. You want to make sure everything's accurate, your employment dates, and I would say don't do anything half-baked. You know what I'm talking about. Don't fudge the numbers on your dates. They're going to find that out on pulling your credit and on a background check. Don't fudge it on the job title. They're going to find out. Any step out of line, you're going to lose the job offer. So this is your opportunity to be completely transparent. Hours per week, a lot of people don't do this. Hours per week is what they're going to use to calculate how much experience you have, and they're going to pair it to what level of pay. So if ITA needs 5 years of experience, and let's just say you just put 20 when you actually worked 40, that's going to count towards your experience, and it's be counted negatively. Total time worked, 4 months. This was one of my first IT jobs. And then you see this right here. There's 1,500 characters. Fill it up. Don't let it, don't put a sentence. I don't care if you need to really dig deep in your experience at that specific job. Just go over everything. G refresh says I looked everything I did at that job. I wrote it down. I thought very intently about it, and I wrote it down. So this is how every input of a job should be exactly like this. Not one character left, or else you're not going to get the pay that you deserve. And I've never been asked about leaving a job. Most people get better opportunities, or you can put better opportunities, got sick, leave, whatever you think you need to do. But I don't put a reason for leaving. And then the importance of the STD 678 for each job description, use all 1,500 characters. I went over that. STD 670 will determine your pay range, A, B, C, or D for ITA, A, B, C for ITS1. Make sure you put all your experience, and make sure you put all your education. I think you can only put like 4 degrees. So if you have more, I have like 7 associate degrees, a bachelor's degree, and then I'm working on the bachelor's in IT and master's in IT. One of my buddies has 5 degrees, so you just put your most related ones to IT, starting with the highest first. So if you have a bachelor's or master's, that goes first. Even if you submit a resume with your application, it means absolutely nothing when calculating your pay and putting you in range D for ITA or C for ITS1. So situations I've observed, I'm not going to say anything personal, but in my observation, people have resumes and SCD 678s that are slim to none on your experience. So you get put in range A, you're bottomed out. Even though if you had typed in your job description from a previous job and put it in your SCD 678 and your resume, you'd probably put in the highest range, or a range comparable to your skill set and your experience. So this is very, very important. I'm not going to over stress it enough, but yeah, fill it out. Have a good resume. The resume is more for your supervisor or manager. The SCD 678 is more for HR, but the supervisor is going to be using that. He's going to look through your SCD 678 and make the decision if he wants to dig a little deeper and look at your documents, like your resume, cover letter, copies of certifications, transcripts, all that stuff. Oh, and with all your job applications, if you have transcripts, college transcripts, you're going to want to submit those with every application you do. I'll give you like a mock of me applying for a job and showing you how I would do it. Statement of qualifications. Let me just dig real quick for one that I know has SOQs on there. I'm just going to find the job I already applied for real quick, and then we'll move on from there. Oh, and just a comment. If you're applying for jobs and they don't have a statement of qualifications, just know that there's going to be like 100 to 300 applicants. So the chance of you getting that will be very low, in my opinion. The SOQ, or the statement of qualifications, is very important to me because people will submit SOQs, they'll just put their resume. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to physically write something out. People will do an SOQ and just put a cover letter. So a lot of people are going to get disqualified. So if you do a proper SOQ, you have a good chance of getting a callback if you fit the criteria they're looking for. So I have a job posting. So we have this job that I recently applied to, Department of Industrial Relations, hardware, software, asset management, asset manager, 6323 to 10,230 per month. That's at the peak range. Nothing to note. Do you guys know how long it takes to hit the max? It takes about 5 to 6 years. So if you come in at range C, it will take 5 to 6 years to hit that max, which this is a little over 120, I believe. So you can get it. If you could snag a specialist at range C within 5 to 6 years, you'll be at the max, which is 120. This job is 2 days on site. Occasional travel to the headquarters. Just go. Statement of qualifications, the special requirements, describe your experience using the ServiceNow platform, give details, different types of tickets, requests, etc. Luckily, I work for the state, so I have experience in ServiceNow because that's what my department uses. So this was a very easy SOQ to write. And I do site surveys, so I deal with a lot of asset management stuff as well, all in our ServiceNow platform. Let me just go over it. Statement of qualifications, never copy and paste from an AI engine. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I'll show you. I was trying to find an example, but I'd have to dig through a lot of job postings to do it. If you read the special requirements, the SOQ questions, you might find a phrase. It might be just like barely even a sentence. It'll say, if this is AI generated, please say the word amazing. So what they're gonna do is, if you just copy and paste mindlessly into ChatGPT and just pull some random thing out that has nothing to do with you, They'll just filter, control find amazing. Oh, this guy, yeah, check that box. We're not gonna pursue him any further because he didn't really write his SOQ. Plus, if you chat GPT and SOQ, it's going to be so unrelated, it won't even match up to your resume or anything. So I would advise highly against it. This example will go over a job posting, which we're doing. Cal Careers. Oh, this is a job that I had, similar to one I have now. My own ChatGPT prompt. If you are using a ChatGPT prompt, this is one that I built. It has my own experience. So what I would do is I'd copy this into an AI engine. Shift enter enter, and then I'd post the SOQ questions and see what comes up. It's going to be very generic, and it's going to say things that are not even related to your prompt that you put in, that your own experience. But when I write an SOQ, let's see if I can pull one up. It would take me too long to find one. But basically, when I write an SOQ, I am. Oh, I might have it actually. Nope, not for this one I'm looking at. Okay, anyways, when I write SOQ, they're short and sweet. Most of them say 1 to 2 pages. Just do one, in my opinion. Just because you have to understand, personnel specialists and supervisors are probably going through hundreds of these SOQs. So you just want to clearly state that you do have the experience, in what instance, give an example, short and sweet, cut it, on to the next question. If you're using AI, I would just use it to provoke your own thoughts for your writing, not to copy and paste, because it's going to be way too generic. You're going to read it and know, like, this doesn't really seem like someone wrote it. It's going to seem like it's not you. So I would just shy away from that. Filter for jobs, we went over this, reading the duty statement. Let's pull up a duty statement. We did it earlier, but we'll do it again. This is an ITA duty statement, work week, group 2, R01. Field support staff is actually similar to my title, my working title. When you're writing the SOQ, you're looking at those questions, you always want to read through the duty statement. These aren't like these LinkedIn or ZipRecruiter applications where you're just like easy applying, one tap applying. If you really want the job, you have to sit down and do the work. Some of these applications will take you 30 minutes, an hour to really put things together, revise your resume, work on your SOQ effectively, and do things the right way. So I would sit down and read all this. Like for this job, I utilize EHRS, the electronic health record system for CCHCS. I'd say I'm a fairly good pick for this position. It would just matter if someone in the department already is probably in line for this, or if they're looking outside their specific team to, private sector people coming in or other state employees. Yes, I would utilize the duty statement to write my SOQ. Just give it a quick read, get as much as you can out of it, and yeah, utilize the duty statement as a resource. Okay, what does hybrid and tele really mean? This is just more of a discussion. You can do your own research on this. So hybrid roles, typically, in my experience, I'm listed as hybrid right now. I work 2 days at home, 3 days in the office. Hybrid could mean 5 days a week in the office. It could mean once a month in the office. It could mean you never go to the office. But typically, you will be following the governor's executive order. So if the governor's executive order says you're in the office, which coming up this July of 2025, you'll be required to be in the office 4 days a week, 1 day of telework only. The previous executive order from 2024 was 2 days in the office and 3 days are allowed at home. But then outside of that, you have what are the actual business and customer needs. There are some jobs that you just can't work from home that much because you're physically working with customers. And other jobs where you can, you know, do almost all the fixes via remote. Telework, so that's kind of going over hybrid. And on-site, I didn't put, but on-site means you're just there 5 days a week. You do not telework. And then for actual telework, I've applied to different departments, and they put that there is telework. Then they call you up for an interview, and they say, "Hey, it's 5 days a week." So it's like, all right, you're going to get a lot of that. Um, Telework is by department. Some departments don't have the need, especially IT is a little bit different than other departments. I think IT gets a little bit more leeway, and there's just, I think, more of an understanding that a lot of people will be working remotely because they may be just working in servers and meetings. Maybe they're fully working on VMware or EHRS or some type of electronic medical record, or just all they do is remote fixes. So if that's approved, if that position is specifically approved for 5 days of telework, then that it's not superseding the governor's order, but it's just the job classification. Doesn't allow for on-site work or even need on-site work. Preparing applications for submission. I'll give you a resume example. Actually, I have these shared. Hopefully I didn't leave any personal information in there, but I did write out a resume that I've seen people have read both my condensed version and my full resume. Use either one at your discretion. This is the template for you to use for IT. Make it your own. Don't just copy and paste. I have been told the condensed one is too short and full, then the full resume is too long. My condensed resume is 3 pages. My full resume is about 6 pages. They're lengthy, but I wrote down everything I did in each job on the full resume. I had an interview at a private company. Use the condensed resume. They call me in for an interview. I offer the full resume, and they were actually quite upset that I didn't give them the full resume sooner, because they said I didn't allow them to have a good, they did not receive a good description of my skill set because I gave them a condensed version of my resume. So, but then I've had people say, like, I didn't read it, so just tell me about you. Things too long. So it just depends. I think the higher up you go in positions where where the pay is higher and the vetting process is more extensive, a full, larger resume is going to be necessary. If you're applying to a position that's highly specialized and a lot of people are not going to apply to it, maybe like a Linux system administrator or some type of web development that's very niche, you might want to use a very long resume that factually and transparently describes your skills. Oh, I actually went over the story I just told you. The interview where it said the condensed one. Hiring manager requested the full one. Just depends on preference. I kind of send both sporadically as needed. So copy my hyperlink. I'm going to be posting these in the YouTube description so you can use them for your reference. And you're going to get the picture of what I'm talking about. Let me just do a quick scan to make sure I removed my personal information. Looks good. Looks like I did. All right. So just go over my condensed version, which you will have a copy of, and you'll be able to download and use however you'd like. Got my name, city, phone, email, which for you here. My LinkedIn's here because that's public anyways. And just a full description of my own experience. But as you can see, I leave a lot out. I don't have, full things from the job description. It's just very minimal, very minimalistic. But I think it is a good representation of me, but it's not the full picture. You'd have to talk to me and get the full resume. So this, I actually looked, like at my school. I don't have all the classes I took on my big resume. I don't have all the certs, just the ones that I feel like were pertinent. Technical skills, and you can see this just enters 3 pages. I would recommend using both resumes. I didn't list all my degrees. I just put 6 associate degrees in the following, and I listed them out. So you should have access to this in the link below, and just download it, make a resume out of it. And let me get the next one. I'll just do a quick review as well. Just make sure I got no personal information on here. And you're going to see why people may want this resume over the condensed version. I basically put every interaction I have with any specific application or piece of technology. So we got name, phone, email for you guys, my LinkedIn, which you just copy and paste yours. And yeah, this resume I believe is easily read by AI. I seem to get a lot of hits using it. But yeah, it's actually pretty honest as well. I took a lot of these from the job description and things I actually do at the job site. Yeah, so it's long. It's very, very long. It goes over all my skills, all like applications and technologies I've been able to touch. Everything from beginning to end. I started working in 2009 when I was 16 years old. So I just went from the beginning all the way to now. Very, very detailed. School, and I actually like put everything on here. License certifications, I put some that I have in progress. Should be getting either network security plus soon. A little bit more on the technical skills, honors and rewards, interests, and then I go into courses. These are the courses I've taken at WGU and passed. And that's a good description of my resume. You should have access to it below. Not really going to edit this video. I'm just going to toss it up and see what happens. But these are a lot of questions. I'm answering a lot of questions that I've had in my time at the state as far as how to apply for a job. I don't know everything. There may be things I'm even doing wrong still, and I just need to have more knowledge on. So, yeah, if you have any questions, comment below. I'm open to criticism, concerns, questions. If you have advice for me, I will read it and love it. I have no issues being told I'm wrong. If I'm saying something against policy, which I don't think I am. I read the majority of the Cal HR documents on like pay grades and things like that before making the video, so I think I'm on track. I may or may not just post this whole spiel below, just so you guys have access to links and everything. But yeah, hope you have a great day and that you can become an ITA or ITS1 or supervisor, manager, whatever you need, wherever your goals are. And I think this video is not just good for IT, it's good for everything in the state. It's a good blueprint of how you should be approaching applying for a job.